Everyone, and welcome to PSGL. We are here for some social races before season 31 kicks off in the coming weeks. I am your commentator Brendan, and I am joined by Jake. So, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm very good. I'm looking forward to seeing what the new game's like in terms of racing, and how this sort of mixed grid does. Because obviously, we've been a social race, we've kind of got we've got a spread of abilities, a spread of sort of speed levels from the previous game. But you don't know, sometimes from game to game, people's performance can change. So it'll be interesting to see how this grid does. And there's some pretty well-known faces that are racing tonight as well. Should be good.
Indeed. Obviously, the game with the new regulations, the handling will have changed a good bit. It will, so it might you might see a case where some drivers it's going to be a bit better, or maybe some others they won't like it as much. From what I know, the handling is nice, I think, to drive, but some people might just not find the pace. Uh, we have a very good 20 drivers who are very quick, and we'll be looking to just try get off, get get going pretty much. Just see, kind of gauge where they are in comparison to others. Because obviously in the first few days of the game, you might be doing some just not nothing too much, just more getting used to it. So now it's a chance to see if you have that pace, maybe from the last game, or you've improved. So so we're heading into Silverstone now. So what would your thoughts be on that, on this track?
I think it's a great track to do a social race on, as we saw yesterday in, of course, the real life Grand Prix. We saw just a lot of entertaining racing. This track promotes the opportunities, overtaking opportunities, promotes close side by side racing. So I'm expecting to see much of the same. And yeah, there's a really good feel to this track. I imagine, due to the fact it's a social race, it's set to dry conditions. So, because when it comes to Silverstone, you never quite know what you're going to get, but I think it'll be set to dry conditions. I'm 100% sure of that. There's a few people I reckon that we're going to be getting quite a bit of support in the chat for tonight's race, including one driver who I can't imagine is actually going to be racing in the season ahead. Our very own PSGL League owner Connor is making a rare outing, so I know from the past that he's very quick, so he won't be out of place on this grid at all, and be interested to see how he gets on for sure.
Indeed, he is very quick. Obviously, hasn't really been involved in racing that much since the last two or so years, but it is good to see making an appearance, and he's a lot of should be a very competitive grid, even if the spread of drivers is a little more than you would be accustomed to. As usually, when you have the amount of TS that PSGL does have, there's usually very little margin for anyone to make a mistake here. And now,
Yeah,
sorry.
and I think as well, this social race would definitely be an opportunity for some drivers to really show what they can do, and they'll want to impress. But you know, obviously there's the evaluation races that will probably ultimately decide what tier you go in. But a good performance here can definitely set you up in the right direction. And we've got all 20 cars out on track, so it's fair to say that they're very eager to show what they can do.
Indeed, obviously, while your evaluation will be the most important thing, as everyone who wants to sign up will be doing this. But if you are able to put your name in for a social race, then and maybe get a good performance, show what you can do, it might help. Just put out there that maybe even if your evaluation you mightn't do as good as you want, it could be the thing that maybe pushes you up somewhere. So let's just take someone you're starting lap. Do you want to go on board with liquid blocks?
Yeah, so little blocks then coming towards around the first few corners now, and easy flat now. We saw some great racing here yesterday, and little blocks in the Mercedes. Of course, this is the first time in a couple of years we're back to these silver arrows on the game. Obviously been used to the black Mercedes for the last couple of years, but it has reverted back now. Okay. personally quite like. And now through what used to be the sort of the old part, the old end to the lap, before the track was sort of reconfigurated around 2010, I believe. And yeah, going up to the old start-finish straight now and up towards Cops. Usually flat out. I expect to be flat out for most of these drivers in these cars, but there's a little less grip now with these cars, so it may need to lift off slightly. And now through the very famous Maggots and Beckett's complex, a beautiful chain of corners. If you hook it up right, it's a very nice feeling, and then straight onto the hangar straight. Looking pretty smooth from Little Blocks so far, as we've got our first lap time on the board from Black Box now, 127.7. And now turning into Stowe, down a few gears again, put the apex quite nicely. This looks like a nice, neat lap, maybe not pushing the limits just yet, but should be good to set a time on the board. A little bit deep into there, but he's coming up to the line now, and Little Blocks does a 27.8, which is good enough for P4, because Philip has currently got provisional pole.
So Philip setting the early pace here after these first couple of runs. Obviously, are setting their times now. ESA 28.2. As you do take some of these times with a pinch of salt, it is the first run of a game that is on a race where the game's only come out about just a little under a week ago for whoever pre-ordered the Champions Edition. Let's see. Well, now we've got 11.5, not really a representative time there. If we do keep that, and we have Ryan gone off there a little bit. It's kept the wing, so but it's more, yeah, it's a trip to the pits. There's Laggy TM starting a lap, so most people having their first run done and out of the way, just more to get the lap in, see where you are then, and you probably think we're making improvements. I'm gonna say this year, you are the tire you qualify on if you're in the top 10. So how would you think that affects the strategy of the 4 drivers now? Even if Silverstone is usually like a simple enough strategy.
I think it's first of all fantastic thing. Obviously, it's been implemented in real life and has crossed over onto the game. But I think it's a great thing because, you know, sometimes you did kind of get anticlimactic qualifying sessions because some drivers didn't want to be in the top 10. You know, so they could get that tyre option at the start races. Now, it's just, I think we're going to see a lot more aggressive qualifying, a lot more exciting track action during qualifying, because, you know, you just want to be at the front of the grid now, because it doesn't really make all that much difference whether you're inside the top 10 or outside of it. Obviously, you know, you may still have drivers that potentially want to start further down the grid, you know, for other reasons, but overall, I think it'll have a massive impact on qualifying sessions in particular, and make them a lot more exciting. And then in turn with the racing, you've then got you've got the tyre options for everyone down the grid. So, you know, all 20 drivers have got the option of what tyre they want to start on, and that should make also the start of the race that little bit more interesting as well, because we can see what different strategies are going on throughout the grid.
Well, yeah, Silverstone's from last year's game, it was very much soft medium or medium soft, depending on where you started. So this year, tyre wear, this might be one of them races where people will try strategies that might not quite work out. It could be soft medium, maybe soft hard could be a way to go, but it does depend on your setups and all that. Maybe.
We've got Big C Connor starting at a lap now, so don't know if you want to take us round a lap with Big C.
So out of turn 3 and on to the straight, one of the 2 DRS straights here, and heading down towards Brooklyn to where sector 1 ends. 27.7 for sector 1, and now into Lovefield. Just he cannot choice either go a little wide or tuck in. He decides to just tuck in and now keeping right to the right there as you head up towards Cops. We have seen one Ferrari pull off a fantastic move in real life yesterday. Obviously no need for that, but taking a lot of speed through. just shave off a little speed in Maggots and Beckett before breaking the Chapel, as we have a new pole position time, 127.2 from Fabi. As end of sector 2 here on the straight now into Stowe. Just place the car, just don't run wide and exit, and keep going towards club. You just have to just get the right line, just get easy traction, and it is a 27.9, so P9 for Big C, just behind our head steward, Kryptonite.
Yeah, the two fellow heads of PSGL currently just bringing up the rear of a top 10. I believe there was a move up there from Toxic Tomato up to P3, and most drivers now on their second runs. Who is currently out on a lap? I wonder. I've got Rowan currently in P4, and McLaren is just coming through Cops now. He set a pretty decent opening lap, so I'm wondering if he's going to be one driver that might be about to go right to the sharp end.
Well, we'll find out a little more once he gets past sector 2. It is just over 10.5 improvements, so this should be good enough for P2 provisionally. Stowe, just get as close as you can, and then don't widen the exit. Now, final couple of corners, you just smooth exit. That's all what you want. As 27.3, it's good enough for P2, and less than a tenth away from the provisional pole time.
Yeah, very nice lap indeed. Kazizel is a tenth of a second up through the middle sector on his latest lap, but I think he's just backed off, so usually no improvement there. Little Blocks coming across the line. He invalidated, unfortunately, on his lap. So.
Joey has went P10 there, so displacing his Ferrari teammate.
Got Will coming across the line in a Williams, and he now goes up into the top 10, so both Ferraris now just outside the top 10, which in last year's game would have been brilliant. Now it's not quite so good.
Yeah, Simbo in the AlphaTauri going P8, so not too bad for him. Seems like there's still some very competitive here from around 7th to well, pretty much 15th. So the midfield here is looking to be a very good for today. In the racing, as good as real life yesterday.
Yeah, two drivers at the moment that seem to be struggling the most are the two Alfa Romeos. We saw Ryan, who'd spun earlier on, is just coming to the pits now. Neither of them have got a lap time on the board yet, although we have got Eltink on a lap, KJ Eltink on a lap right now.
27.6 for the first sector, so I think that will be placing him right around the midfield, anywhere between it could be P7, P8, or even P12, depending on what these sectors are. At the moment, it's not looking too bad. Philip Wohlers now has set the fastest time of this session, 127.2, just on the lower end of it this time. And now after sector 2, Kyle 103.8890. Just see if it's not that improvement. I want the. Looks like there is a car ahead, but they're into the pits. I believe someone's gone off there, as that Bugatti has went off. Kyle just somehow kept it valid, but it's only P14. Would have been all.
Yeah, he wouldn't have gained time doing that, that's for sure, because the car was losing the rear end all the time and had to scrub off speed to avoid it being validated. So I think there was probably maybe a 27.6 or so, 0.7 in there. But yeah, that end to lap just a little bit scruffy and kind of ruined that. Zizzle did a second flying lap on his soft tyres and moved up to P4. So if you do mess up your first flying lap, you have got the tyre grip to do a second flying lap and still go faster.
Yeah, that is thing. You will have the grip to go again, but also the fact that you know that see, every lap is important. So you're going to learn. Probably find improvement in each lap. Now, most of these second runs would have been complete. So we are seeing some people head out early for maybe one last run. Big C, obviously Kyle think is probably going to be heading in and validate the lap there. So probably a pit stop here.
Fabi is just completed sector 2 and he's a tenth and a half up on his previous best, so if he can keep that going he will go back to provisional pole. He's another that's gone out quite early for his final run, but he seems to be making it work, and as long as he gets his last couple of corners right, he could be back to take provisional pole back again.
In fourth gear, a little higher than some of the others, but it clearly worked because pole position at the moment for Fabi. You have to remain to see if that's going to be the final run or not.
Toxic Tomato goes P3 as well on a 27.3, so some early improvements on these last runs. Big C going up towards the final few corners. He's going into the pits. He was 4 tenths up, so there was a sizable improvement there that he was making, but he's opted to go into the pits so he can go out late for his final run. But there's a lot more pace there from Big C, but he opts to take a fresh set of tyres.
Yeah, I believe you have 4 sets of the soft tyre for qualifying, so that would mean you have to, if you feel like a run isn't going to work, or maybe you need to hold off on a run until the end, you can do so. You have the tyres to work with. You know, we haven't many people out on track yet, but I expect a lot of action in the pit lane in the next minute or so, as people will be getting out to just try and get that last minute improvement. They could see them go up 2 or 3 positions. We seem to have a couple of fights prevailing at the moment. We have the pole position fight here, probably between the top 4, 5, 6, 7 maybe. Then this midfield fight from 8. It goes fairly far down, so you'd say there's going to be probably 2 groups of drivers, and both just with different objectives, but it should make for a very, very good qualifying end.
Yeah, Ryan, just following him on board, I was hoping he was on a lap, but he wasn't. Joey's also backed out of his lap. So I've got a few. I think Kryptonite is probably the next one. Louis, head steward, he's not improving through sector 1, but it is pretty marginal, so he may make that up around the rest of the lap. I was just going to say, Ryan has really struggled to hook it up in qualifying so far, and I've commentated on him a number of times in sort of around the 3rd and 4th tiers of PSGL, and he's contender for championships. I actually believe he won one on the last game, so yeah, but not quite finding his feet just yet. Of course, with it being a new game, and obviously it only just came out like last week, so it's hard to know really. Some drivers may have had a lot more preparation time than others, so it is something worth bearing in mind that these drivers may have had different preparation times, and that may be impacting on how they're doing tonight. I'm afraid Louis will not be improving on his lap because he took a bit too much exit curve.
Yeah, he's old, and I wonder if Joey here got held up on his lap, or no. No, it didn't. Don't think so, because
He's already backed out of his lap, I believe.
Yeah, we have a bit of traffic forming in this final sector. You'd nearly think it was Monza, but it very much isn't. As well.
It's just typical, because like real life F1 is, everyone just wanting to get the best possible time to start their lap, best track conditions. It's really backing up, but we've got some drivers on their laps at the moment.
I believe someone here must have invalidated or had a diss in next lap here, because Will Murdoch has an invalidation here, and judging by what I can see, no time left for him to improve. So if you have an invalidation now, it could cost you 2 or 3 places.
Rowan has done a very good first couple of sectors, currently P4. He may challenge for pole position depending how his final sector goes, so want to keep an eye on in the McLaren. He's just got a few corners to go.
Yeah, a 10.5 improvement, so if this final sector can do something more, who knows where he could end up. It is good enough for P2 on the grid at this moment, but we do have to wait on a couple more laps. Philip Walters is improving. So is Kazikl. Black Box is on a lap as of now, as I believe Fabi is 2. Time is up. It's now or never pretty much. We're going to check. As that's Kryptonite up to the top 8. Not too bad for him. Will Murdoch, well, that's all he can do. Lick of blocks now. Crossing the line, there's a bit of improvement here. It's good enough for 7th. Now to
Big C goes 8th. 27.5 beats his fellow head of PSGL Kryptonite, so I think he'll be happy with that. Kazizel goes to provisional pole. 27.0. Can anyone break that 26 margin? Yep, Philip does it right at the death. 26.9. We have seen the first driver into the 26s. Fabi will not be defending his pole position because he is invalidated. And we've also got Markados on a very good lap down in P9.
Rowan, I think, no, that lap is. It's not improving here. Oh, Markados has managed to beat his teammate at the death by just barely 300s, but it is good enough for P4. I believe that would be it. As Joey is invalidated and not really going at the pace. We're clearly having a little bit of a celebration donut. And that's it for qualifying. We have our grid.
Yeah, great lap at the depth from Philip there to grab snatch pole position away. He was sort of around the sharp end throughout qualifying, so but managed to find that bit of extra pace at the end. Fabi, who was for long periods of qualifying looked like he was a man to beat, doesn't even end up on the front row. Kazizel stole that away at the depth. The 2 McLarens look pretty strong in 4th and 5th, and then you've got Little Blocks 8th, Big C in the top 10. I think he'll be pretty happy with that. And then you've still got some pretty quick drivers outside the top 10, the likes of Slimbo, Will Murdoch. You've got Ryan down in 19th as well. But just 1.2 seconds separating the grid, so to say that, we've got a varied range of preparation times for this event, it's still a very close looking grid.
Indeed, so Philip on pole, Yuxickel 2nd, Fabi 3rd, Markadox 4th, Rowan 5th, Tuxtamo 6th, Blackbox 7, Liquid Blocks 8, Big C 9th, and Kryptonite. They round out our top 10 for this grid today. Now it's on to the race, and it'll probably feel a little different from qualifying, and I have to see now, with the strategical freedom for the top 10, what will they be doing?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you always worry if you start at the front and then don't go for the soft tyres, you may lose out of a start. You don't have a grip off the line. Further down the grid, you don't worry about that so much. So I think naturally we'll see more people starting on the mediums outside the top 10, or at least a little bit further down. But I'd be a little bit shocked if those at the front aren't starting on softs, because they just want to try and defend that position and maybe build a lead.
Yep, so everyone should be loaded up, and we are. Formation app is go. Honestly, you've now got to park yourself, so you might see someone make an error here. So,
interestingly, actually, only one driver on the entire grid has gone for soft tyres, and that's Lordy, down in P20. But most drivers going for the mediums, with the exception of Markados, Kryptonite, Joey, KJ Eltink and Ryan, who've opted to start on the hard tyres. Now, I have to say, particularly for Markados up in P4, that's a big gamble. He may be slightly sluggish at the start of the race and could get caught out, but he's opted to take that gamble. You can see the predictive pit stop strategies there. I mean, the soft to hard are a bit irrelevant, really, given there's only one driver starting on softs. But I think most drivers may be looking to do either medium to hard or hard to medium.
Oh, so Slimbo has joined back. Predicted pit stop strategy: soft to hard or medium to hard. So seems like a one stop is in store very much still, but you might see some people go maybe it'll probably be medium to hard. I mean the soft might not necessarily be a tyre you're going to definitely use. On the last game we could nearly feel like you could just do so many laps in softs and then your medium laps were just there because you had to bit. See, let's have to see then the progress of Nordy MK if he is able to make some progress with them soft tires and when he'll pit. Just see how does these tires really gauge up against each other. Oh, if a half spin there maybe trying to warm up tires. Have people lining up on the grid. Just see now. Can they do the park? Just see the parking. Oh, Philip Waters not really getting the parking right there, so not really going to have the extra few meters that might be so crucial. Same for Fabi, Big C, and Kryptonite. Also Joey and Tunetank. I think we're all lined up, so just wait for. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It is lights out. Joey's got a jump start, so drive through penalty for him. But here we go. We are racing, and looks like Phillips managed to keep that lead, just ahead of Kaziku. And now you've got a little bit of battling going on down the grid here with Liquor Blocks and Tatsu Tamao. And it seems like there is some good racing. Kryptonite's not had the best start, and I believe I think
PSC conditions?
I think so.
Doesn't actually tell us, but they don't look like they're going at full speed to me.
Yeah, very strange.
Got a full yellow across the track, but no indication of what is actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be a full safety car. I don't actually know.
We don't really know here. Like, yeah. Can't really tell you what's happened. I think are we going again or?
Not too sure.
Yeah, this is very.
The car's still weaving, so I'm guessing not. Yeah, there might be a full safety car then, because I would have guessed by now the VSC would have ended. But,
very strange.
Coming into the pits, I wonder. No, not that I can see. Maybe there's a few cars further down that might have some damage. Too sure. Yeah, there's an Alfa Romeo.
Oh, we're going now. Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't VSC, just quite a long VSC. KGL tinkers into the pits. He's got no front wing on his car, and Joey's in the pits to, I believe, service drive-through.
Yeah. So then, kind of think, not too happy with that. So he's left the session. So on the order. Now we get to see how the racing is on this game. Will it just be a bit easier for someone to try to pull alongside and pass, or will it be a common sight again that we'll have DRS trains?
Yep, well, there wasn't too much moving about at the start. Celtic's back in the lobby, so...
Yeah, that could easily have been a screen freeze for all we know. As that, or then again, it does depend. If some people are getting them very rarely, others getting them fairly often. Looks like Kaziku is sticking with Philip here, so it's going to be a DRS trainer for pretty much the top 13 at the moment. Obviously, some people are going to fall off a little as the race goes on.
Yeah, this is before DRS comes into effect, so be surprised if we get much action now, but there are a few cars that are close to others. Got Laggy right behind Zane, which, I mean, yellow flag in sector 2, that's, I'm not sure what that's all about, but Fabi sets the fastest lap in P3. And not too bad for Marcados, I wouldn't have said really, considering he's starting on those hard tyres. He's running. He's only lost to one place to his teammate, and he's not looking like he's losing that much time in terms of pace either.
Yeah, it's well not too much difference. Plus, if you're able to just hold in a DRS train, you're going to find it easy for yourself, and it may make your strategy pay off. Although the only thing is, if you have to end up out DRS train because you're staying out a little longer, you mightn't get that DRS every lap that just makes your lap time that bit quicker.
Oh, massive. I was on board with Slimbo. They had a huge moment coming out of a woodcut, and had to gather it up again. He was right behind Kryptonite prior to that moment, so it's a bit of proof that these cars are quite tricky to handle. Particularly in the dirty air. I've heard that the dirty air effect on this game is quite substantial, so we'll see if cars do struggle to follow each other. I believe we had a swap position between two Williams cars just outside the top 10. I don't know if that was choreographed or if that was natural overtake, but I can see now at Will's closing up to the back of Big C.
Yes, now the target 4 wheels just try to get past Big C as soon as you can, really. Obviously on the same strategy, so if you can get past, brilliant, but just don't, you can't afford to lose time when passing. You see, we'll have to see. Obviously, with a dirty air, you're probably just going to get understeer. Obviously everyone ahead and right behind you is going to have the same effect pretty much, as you're seeing pretty much the full grid. Anyway, well, apart from Joey and Kyle, who had to go into pits in lap 1, nobody is falling off here, well, except for Ryan just now. So you are able to stick close fairly comfortably here.
Yeah, there's a few drivers that are in danger of losing the DRS to the cars in front, which is huge. They don't want to lose that advantage. Marcados and Bugatti in particular just hovering around that second margin, and that may put Marcados at the threat of black box behind him.
Particularly with medium to hards as well, you may be in trouble here. As you already see, it's 1.4 now, so you're going to have to push in order to catch back up, or hope that the mediums start to drop off in a maybe 5 to 7 laps time.
Yeah, definitely. And as well, Bugatti, he's lost that second margin as well. He's on medium, so that'll be a blow for him. Toxic Tomato as well, but he's not under too much threat from behind, so that's kind of a saving grace for him. Will Murdoch's in position to attack Big C, but doesn't look for a move down the inside. He is super close. But as is Big C to the car in front, so it could make it slightly more challenging. You can see how difficult it is to pick up traction when you're right behind another car.
Yeah, and that little oversteer as you're about to go on the throttle, it's probably cost an opportunity there. You're probably gonna have to do it into an unconventional place at times to really work it, but that may come at the cost of not being able to take the DRS from someone behind and compromising your own race, really. I think he took a little too much, well, went into the inside too much and then drifted out here. Cops move probably not gonna happen. Big C is closer to Bugatti than Will is to BC. Oh, we got a spinner.
And that's LRB, who's gone for a spin on the exit of Maggots and Beckett's, just onto the hangar straight. I think he's avoided damage.
Yeah, but
that's a lot of time lost.
A lot of time lost, just by taking too much speed, and it's just the car is just decided it can't handle it. Oh, like you see him into pits at 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane.
Have a look. Was he near LRB? Was there something that went on between the two of them? I don't know.
I suppose we'll see here.
Yeah, he's got some front. Yeah. He does have some front wing damage. I was going to say it's quite early, but it's very early for a stop on mediums. So yeah, some damage there. I wonder if there was a bit of contact between a pair of them. It's weird actually. Marcadors looked quite settled at the start of the race, but you can see now the amount of time he's losing on those hard tyres. He's lost all touch with the top four. But having said that, he's not under that much threat from behind, which surprises me a little. But drivers clearly are struggling to mount an attack on others.
Yeah, it just seems like you can't really set yourself up to go for the move unless the other driver pretty much hands it to you. So it's just...
Big C might be in position here. He's very close to Bugatti.
Yeah, this is an easy move. And that puts Big C up to 9th. Bugatti is now down to 10th. So we'll have to see if these two are similar paced, or maybe if Big C was needing to get past. Oh, well. Oh, Kryptonite's off. And so is Zane. Zane has hit a wall. So we'll have to see what happened to him. Into the pits now. Kryptonite also in. I believe these two must have made some form of contact somewhere. Probably into Stowe. Is LRBF5 also into pits, as we are under a
full course yellow, I think, is the best we can say. We don't know if it's a full safety car or a virtual, but yeah, we're under full course yellow conditions, so drivers have to adhere to the delta. Yeah, that Big C overtake nicely done. He got himself close enough to Bugatti, which is going to be a challenge in itself.
5 on the soft tyre. Oh, this could be a fairly big gamble. As yes, it is a full safety car. We can see the yellow symbol for the safety car just on the first DRS straight.
Yeah, so under full safety car conditions, which is good news for those, particularly Kryptonite and Zane, who just came together. It means they can catch back up to the rear of the field, so that's not too much damage done for them. Tempted to make some sort of joke about the fact that Zane probably didn't choose. I mean, obviously we didn't see it, but
able to invite an LB5? Well, yeah. Meanwhile, we have the top 4 into the pits, along with Markadox. So now the narrative just flips. It is him who's going to be probably on medium, and it'll be the others who are going to be on the hard tyre. So I have to see what can Markadox do now. Oh, but he's got victim of double stack. Let's see here, lick up blocks and Toxic Mouth got ahead of the McLaren, so the potential tyre advantage has been nerfed here by the fact that he had to wait. So Mercedes and Red Bull have managed to get ahead. He hasn't lost position to Big C or Bugatti. On the Bugatti has lost position to Will because of double stack. We have Lordy, who's on another set of soft tyres.
And he's sped in the pit lane as well.
Oh,
so
I think another stop might be in order here.
Yeah, he's going to be making another trip to the pits, I suspect. Yeah, no change of position from what he can mark. Well, I think one driver who did lose out quite a bit in terms of track position during that phase was Markados. Because he had to queue behind his teammate, Rowan, to get up on track. So he was 5th, but he's now dropped to 8th. So, and it's not particularly great for his strategy either, because ideally he'd want to run those hards for a lot longer. I don't know whether the mediums will go to the end from this point.
Well, I suppose there's only one way to find out, and that's by driving. I think it's not too bad if we get another lap or two in the safety car. Just get to around lap 10 and it's similar enough to what you'd do if it was the last game. So maybe from there you can just have a bit of confidence to probably do a little bit of management to make sure you should be able to manage the tyres well enough. Does he also have kryptonite on medium? Most people. Do we also have Ryan on medium? No idea. Other BF5's AI on the soft, Zane on the hard, Joey on medium, Kai Eltink on medium, Laggy TM on me. Well, Kai Eltink on hard, Laggy TM medium. So this does bring in back in some guys as well. Lordy MK is pissing again, presuming to get rid of that penalty. And I think this Silverstone is a long pit lane, but I think Joey, it'll probably be close enough here. Let's see if he can get out ahead of Joey. If he can, that'll be good for his race.
It doesn't look likely. Yeah, Joey's going to be comfortably past him, but he should get out in front of the final two cars, PSGL, Tink and Laggy, so he won't be right at the back. Although, I said that this pit lane goes on a lot longer than I always feel like it does. But this is actually going to be closer with these two than I thought it was going to be. In fact, is he going to be in front of them or not? No. It's a simple answer. He's right at the back. So that surprised me. I thought he'd gone in front of those two, but evidently not. And well, it's going to be interesting now. Obviously, the guys on hard tyres, they don't have to worry about pitting again, really, unless there's a late safety car and they want to protect themselves against the situation that Charles Leclerc found himself in yesterday, being on much slower tyres against a lot of rampaging fast cars. So unless that happens, these guys can run hard to the end. And just see what Marcadol's can do on those medium tyres, because he was really quick in qualifying. He's now got a tyre advantage over the rest.
Another swapping, I think, going on here, Bugatti and Simbo. Or, I think Bugatti they were swapping back. This obviously recharges the ERS batteries, and it seems to me, well, it could be just me, but they do drain a bit more, so you have to be logical as to how you use the ERS. I think. That's just my opinion, but yeah.
Yeah, picking your moments for sure is sort of crucial. We're going to have another lap under the safety car, which I feel like is different to the last game. I feel like it would have come in the last game at this time. So we've got another lap under the Mercedes AMG safety car. Philip leading the way. He's really controlled the race thus far. The top three as they were at the start of the race.
Top four, I think.
Yeah, Rowan making that move on his teammate, but since then it's been very much status quo between the front four. Some big change of position further down. LRB's lost 6 places. I think he's had connection issues, and I think as well he had a bit of a moment earlier on in the race. The biggest gainer so far is Ryan, up 5 places, and also probably a bit more impressively, I would say, Will Murdoch from 14th to 10th.
Oh, Rowan's gone off the road here.
Whoa, that's...
Oh, he's dropped 2 places, but Liquid Blocks has let him back into 5th. So... he's gonna get 4th back here, so... It's not gonna cost him anything, but I feel like that wouldn't have been the calmest of moments there for Rowan, as the McLaren just went a little off-road.
Yeah, a bit maybe a loss of focus. Perhaps we have been in the safety car conditions a little while, but a bit of a strange one to be honest. But well, I mean, it should hopefully have got his focus back, woken him up a little bit, and he'll be ready for the restart. But his tyres aren't too gassed out after that moment. I imagine we're going to see the safety car come in. Yeah, we are. Wasn't sure if the game was actually going to tell us, but it has done, and we are going to go back to racing conditions. And this is probably the most pressure that Philip will have felt in this race since he led them away from pole position right at the start. So we'll just see how he copes with this.
Yeah, obviously tyre warm up. Are they going to be warm? See, you did a little more cold when you come out of the pits. Obviously, nobody really had to go full tilt after. But now we are going, so looks like Philip feels like he is ready to go. The tires are all fine. As he, oh, do you see the McLaren in ruin? He's gone off the road. That's black box pass. Oh, we've little blocks falling down the road as well.
Oh no, what is going on with this restart? Maybe some tight warm-up issues. The little blocks losing positions left, right and centre. Rowan losing the position, and we've got Kryptonite out of the race and little blocks. What has gone on there?
That is a hefty crash. And see you have Mercedes, little blocks, Kryptonite, Alpine also out. And that's a massive, massive crash. Now, however, we do have the other Alpine here is looking to get past Philip as soon as he can. He heads down towards Cop's corner. You has ERS to use here, so anything could happen. So no safety car here for an instant. Oh, we got Kyle Tink. He's off for a set, and no front wing loss this time. But he has. Well, he's a bit on his own now. Meanwhile, at the sea, there's no DRS here for the first 2 laps after the safety car. So just pure straight line speed, but it looks like no, can't do it here.
Yeah, he didn't. Philip really didn't catch out because this is on that safety car restart. It went with him all the way. Of course, kind of got my attention drawn towards what was going on further back, but yeah, Kaziza was right there with him all the way. He didn't catch him out one bit, so as a result, he's been under pressure ever since he got back underway. Rowan right on the back of Black Box, trying to make up for the position he lost, but Markados, with a bold move into turn 1 on Toxic Tomato, makes it stick. Nicely done indeed, and as I sort of thought he might do, he's making a real charge on those mediums at the restart, as now Rowan goes up the inside of Black Box, and the 2 McLarens making some big moves on this restart.
Yep, Rowan back up to 4th. He'll be very happy with that. Now he's got a chance to chase after the group he was with for the majority of the race before that safety car. So, as Kazillo is keeping with Philip here, but he's gonna have to just hopefully for a little slip up from Philip at some point during this race. Because there's not many opportunities really to pass if the driver ahead isn't making a little error that could leave an opening.
Absolutely, but if he can just stay there, then he may have an opportunity later on. The top 9 it is this time, but are sort of breaking away. There's a bit of a gap back to Ryan. I think that's mainly due to the chaos that sort of ensued behind Big C at the restart. We've got a laggy inside of Slimbo, nearly contact between the pair of them there, and I think this is going to carry on. Slimbo around the outside. Is he going to be given the space to make the move? Yes, he is. Oh, this is great racing. And they're going to go right to the finishing line, but they're going to make contact. Ooh, and
now Lordy MK is going to pull up to the left. Did he go around the outside? No, he's backed off there. And it looks like Slimbo's going to go for it on laggy TM. Around the outside here at turn 2. Oh, he's been given a big squeeze. And although the oversteer for laggy TM and exit, so DRS now for Slimbo. He's pulled up to right behind. He's to the right. Now ahead. Oh, but now you've got Lordy MK. He's still keeping at this. And he wants to get the position. He has a tyre advantage at the moment. However, he is not able to use it on Slimbo. Not as invite, there has the Zane up to this battle, so you could see a few more moves here if things have keep going at it. Slimbo, he's slow out with cops, so now Lordy MK, he's going to be passed very easily, although he might not hold the position for long, as he's a bit slow through Chapel. And now Slimbo, he's going to go for it. He's going to just keep the slipstream right up the Stoke corner. Can he hang it around the outside? No. But, oh, and he's just being blocked off there in the exit. He was looking to maybe get it on exit. Oh, he's going to squeeze down the inside. Oh, and it's not worked out for either of them. Maggie and Zane have slipped past. Kyle Tiggs also managed to slip past there. You know, so Slimbo and Lordy MK, who are 11th and 12th, they're now 14th and 15th. With Lordy MK, he's not going to get as much out of this race as he would have wanted, especially with that tyre advantage.
Yeah, that was super aggressive between the pair of them, both in attack and defence, and ultimately there's always a risk when that's the case that it will go wrong, and that's what happened here. While that was going on further down, Marcadors made his way past Blackbox, and the medium shot McLaren driver is now right on the back of his teammate, so he is making a lot of progress here, and interesting to see if he can get past his teammate, and also if there's any potential. I find it unlikely that his teammate is in this race, but you know, potentially it might benefit Rowan in his race ultimately if he lets his teammate go and maybe attack some of the drivers in front.
Yeah, if these McLarens were in a championship as teammates, you might want you would switch, but obviously there's nobody's going to really do that for a social race, so I think Marcadors is going to have to figure a way to pass. And I'm not sure, but I think that wasn't the best corner there in terms of speed, so we have to just hope these mediums keep providing the grip, and if they do, then there's a chance he can maybe attack, although I do believe Rowan's going to is falling now with DRS here, 1.2 seconds. It's not going to get DRS here, and little enough ERS to keep up, so it's Marcadors. It's going to find it easy to pass. Oh, we have not from Romeo off, but it was Ryan, I think.
Yeah, it was Ryan. He had such a margin behind him. He hasn't actually lost any positions, because of course behind him was where that big fight was going on just a lap or two ago. But as you can see, he's lost a lot of time to the cars in front, so he's behind him. The top 9 now, you would say, are kind of in a race on their own compared to the rest of the field. And you can see Marcadors getting ever closer to the back of Rowan, who's desperately trying to get the DRS from Fabi in front, but I don't think he's got it. And here comes his teammate Marcadors. Is he going to make a move into Stowe? His teammate goes off the racing line, but he is defending it.
So close.
It's very close, but he makes it round the outside of Stowe. Nice overtake from Marcadors, and you know, this might get the top 3's attention now when they see him in 4th. They might not have such an easy ride of it after all, as Marcadors, with the aid of DRS, sets a new fastest lap of the race just to further show his intentions to those in front. As we've got
Slimbo. Yeah.
Had a moment exit Stowe by the looks of it, and he's lost 3 positions. He's lost a position to Lordy, which may irritate him more than the other 2 he's lost, given their recent fight on the track.
And just
Slimbo down 17.
I will just say, it's not. Well, Lordy's just picked up a penalty, so maybe not might be so bad. Slimbo, if the group ahead keep battling, he may be able to gain back some places. Oh, and as Bugatti, he's hit Lordy MK, and that means end plate's missing, so that's probably his race compromised, and they won't be scoring anything here in this race. It's now Slimbo round the well, down the inside actually, and now round the outside. Slimbo's is keeping there. Bugatti's doing well to defend with the wing damage here, and to see a Slimbo going to won't be able to try and finger the cops, but that is.
Poor Elting was about to go down the inside of Joey into cops. That was really close, but he just about, I wouldn't say backed out of it, but he just about didn't have enough space on the inside to make it work. But that was nearly a crazy.
Well, Zane's past 90 TM, so the 2 managed to profit from Lordy MK and Slimbo battling. They're having their own little battle, not anything in there as much as. Oh, and Guy Elting saving the car very, very well. There's Tokyo Drift in Silverstone. But he's kept position, although he has lost the position to Lordy MK and Bugatti.
Just having a look here, so we've got Marcadors, who's already caught up to the back of Fabi. What I found quite interesting though is you just compare the ERS levels of the top 2 compared to Fabi and the two McLarens. The top two not only have the track position, they're also saving a lot more ERS in doing so. So
yeah.
And Fabi's picked up a penalty on the exit of Cops to boot as well, so maybe feeling the pressure from that fast McLaren behind him, and that's just forced him into a little bit of an error, and that penalty probably kills off any chance he hoped he had of winning this race.
Yeah, so that's probably cost him any chance of winning this race now, unless the most favourable of circumstances happen, as that's Kyanting and Simbo picking up penalties. Look, they're not battling there, but we do believe we've a brilliant battle that's brewing. Here, I'm thinking Bugatti. Kyanting, he had the opportunity there to pass, but the oversteer has cost him, and now Bugatti's going to be the one passing Nordy MK. So Bugatti ahead, and that's he's staying out of this damage, and it's clearly not affecting his ability to race. It's Nordy MK, he went for it, but he's overshot the corner, and now Bugatti has managed to switch back out, and it is the position for Bugatti.
Lordy probably can't believe he's just been overtaken by a car on slower tyres with wind damage. He's probably a little bit annoyed about that. But Bugatti doing amazing work considering the damage he's got, making a really nice move and great stuff. And I don't really know what's happened to Black Box in P6, but he's just completely dropped from the top 5 and is now under all sorts of pressure from Toxic Tomato and Will, so there could be a battle here going on P6 as well.
Yeah, I think it's just a case that he wasn't with that group first of all, and he doesn't have medium tyres to pull him away. But now the Toxic Tomato, he's going to find it very, very easy. No ERS needed. Straight up pass, and it's done before Stowe. And to see now if Will Murdoch is going to be able to make a pass somewhere. So we'll head down back here, see if looks like Kyanting won't be able to pass here. Just not really got the run this time. Bugatti keeping P14. Slimbo's now appeared again.
Laggy's pitted.
Oh, that's an interesting call. Not really sure how. I don't think he's going to gain much.
Well, he's done the most amount of laps on those mediums out of anyone, 15, and maybe they've just had enough. He's going to have a quick car at the end on Sauce, but the amount of ground he's going to have to make up, I think, unless there's a safety car, the best he can really hope for is...
Will Murdoch and Black Box, they're going side by side to Lovefield. This Black Box on the inside to be able to keep the position. These two are side by side heading out of Lovefield, heading down the old pitch straight, and into Cop's corner. Someone's probably going to have to yield here. They go through. It looks like Will Murdoch, he's well off track, but he hasn't yielded. So he's going to try to keep position. A bit of a wheel tap there. Will Murdoch is through for now.
Yeah, if this was a league race and not under stewards, if this wasn't a social race, I think that may have been an investigation on that one, because he was all completely off the track when he made that move stick. So, but nevertheless, Will up to 7. Great racing between the pair of them, literally centimetres separating their tyres as they went through Woodcut and down towards Hops. Oh, but Will having a huge moment there around the final corner, and may give an opportunity for Black Box to have a go back, but he doesn't. He decides not to, which I'm a little surprised about.
I think he's probably thinking it's better to just try get the aid of DRS and go for it there. But honestly, that won't really work if Will Murdoch also has DRS. So now, I'd see his Toxic Tomato. Will he be able to pull away a bit, or is Will Murdoch going to keep on him there? Is it?
We're just seeing in the top 5 a sort of first split in that group. Fabi's just dropping off the leading pair, so they saved it. Laggy's retired in the pits, I believe.
No,
I think he's crashed.
On
the pit straight, has he?
We have a safety car. Oh, now it gets spicy. You are going to... everyone's going to pit surely. And I'd say that Rowan, if he wants to keep places here, he might want to back off. Let's see. Oh, he was about trying to dummy someone there, but obviously Tomato would have been too far away to see it. So top 5 in. Toxic Tomato also. Will Murdoch just about getting in on there, I think. Black box.
I think we had it earlier where Marcados had the pain of queuing behind his teammate. I think his teammate's about to get a taste of the same medicine. Because Rowan queuing right behind, he's not going to hold up anyone coming into the pits, thankfully. Zane's got a penalty for a collision with Ryan, which is quite bizarre under safety car conditions, really.
Rowan, let me see. Rowan has come out 8th.
Yeah, that's not worked out at all for him. Because of having to queue, it's kind of worked out similar to how it worked out for his teammate earlier on.
Yeah.
Just that queuing has cost the positions, and there was quite a gap between him and those cars that are now ahead of him, so it shows just how much time he lost. If I had to guess, I'm guessing Zane and Ryan may have collided when they were braking for the pit lane limit, speed limit. That would be my guess, because I think that's roughly where they were.
Yeah, so now I'll just show it quickly here. Tires, everyone on the soft compound tire.
Yep, literally just waiting for LRB to do the same. And then, yep, everyone now showing us on brand new soft tyres. So it's a sprint to the end. And let's just have another look again at positions gained across the race. You have to say, the really impressive drive has been from Will Murdoch, up 9 places from 14th to 5th. He's had a really stormy drive. And despite the action we've seen, the top 4 is unchanged. Marcados has made up that time he lost in the first stint. But yeah, for me, Will Murdoch and possibly Ryan as well, 2 outstanding drives in terms of how the race has gone compared to qualifying.
Yeah, so now, yeah, Will Murdoch be very happy with that, being able to get ahead of Black Box. I think it's set up for a very nice race, and apart from Fabi, nobody in the top 9 has a penalty. Well, Fabi is 8 seconds, so probably really bad for him here. He's going to drop a good few places. So it's probably picked up a 5 seconds there in the pit lane. Could have been speeding or a collision, so who knows.
Yep, so got another lap under the safety car conditions, and yeah, the strategy's completely out of window now. It is literally going to be a sprint to the end. But you know, we've seen before when you have these sort of late safety cars, some drivers can sort of crack under a pressure. Ryan's picked up a 5-second penalty for a collision with Big C, so an eventful few laps for Ryan in particular. And
Yeah.
those penalties just, I mean, how many has he got now? He's on 8 seconds, although he will not take the penalty award away from his teammate KJ Elting, who is, I don't know how, but he's at 20 seconds worth of penalties, 13th place. A bit of a naughty day for the 2 Alfa Romeos, it's to be said.
Oh, what's going on here? Fabi.
Fabi?
Ah, we've got people going on the grass.
Well, Kazizel has dropped to 12.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's just happened there. Fabi's up to 8 seconds of penalties. I didn't actually realise he'd got another 5 seconds, but it's utterly bizarre. Did they...
Very bizarre.
Did they both have a screen freeze, I wonder? That's the only thing that comes to mind.
Either way, Fabi's down to 4. You've got Marcadox and Will Murdoch in P2 and 3. You now have Zizzle in 12th, Fabi's in 4th. Safety cars in the stops, and Kazizel, who could have went for this race win, it's going to be a fight for points.
Yeah, I mean, on obviously that's a real crushing blow for him. I suppose on the plus side, it's happened now and not when the season's begun. He knows he's got the pace, but It's not what he won't be getting the result that perhaps he deserves tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And
No.
now we'll see. We'll see. Philip didn't really catch anyone out of his last safety car restart, and he's already gone here again. And I don't think he's particularly caught out Marcados either. So, you know, a little bit predictable with his restarts, and he hasn't really managed to pull out much of an advantage. The Lordies gets a penalty. We're back underway in the top two, very close at the restart.
Indeed, I'm just glad to see it be as much chaos as there was on the last one. I believe just a change at the back, but nothing else really. I believe Rowan,
and Toxic Tomato.
He's trying to make up a place. He's up to 6. Yep, just about. He's managed to get it around the outside there. Heading now down towards Brooklands. He has the place. Now, it's...
Contact as well further down. Kazizzle trying to make up ground, and a bit of contact between him and KJ Elting. It's not working out at all for Kazizzle. We've got Rowan off the track.
Oh, that's... It's spun. That's just no point to Rowan today here. It's been a very good race up until then, but just hasn't worked. Kazizzle is past Joey. Got done before cops, so be very happy with that. Now, next up for Kazizzle would be Kai Elting. And if he can get past Kai Elting, he'll be very, very happy. Well, I suppose happy as he can be. He's going side by side. Ryan ahead of Zane. Up front here, looks like Marcadox about half a second from Waters. So Will Murdoch be very, very happy. He's started in the midfield, but he's managed to work his way up to third. Very well executed race from the Williams driver.
Yeah, all the action looks like it's happening further down, because Zizzle right on the back of KJ Elting. They're all sort of just behind Ryan at the moment. P8. Obviously, a lot of the drivers towards the back have got penalties as well to be applied at the end of the race. I don't think that's going to stop them racing based on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, we have seen some very nice racing. Obviously, hasn't ended well for some people. Gassy is
sneaky move.
Yeah,
great. Woodcut, just Ryan left the door slightly open, and
Slimbo spun it.
Advantage.
Slimbo out. Yeah. A race
between Ryan and Zane. Now we're going side by side up to Cox, and Ryan just gives a gentle nudge to Zane as if to say, "You're not going side by side with me through there." Ryan keeps hold of a place, but
could be. They're going to be side by side here again. Ryan hasn't got the exit he wanted out of Chapel, but Ryan has straight line speed there. That is keeping him, but it looks like the other Alfa Romeo is going to make a move. It's going to be Kai Elting around the outside the Stowe. Oh, and it's Kai Elting spun. Kazizzle was pretty pushing him. Kai Elting is immediately retired on track. DRS is now enabled. We're on to lap 25. No more safety cars can be brought out.
Yeah, and Kazizzle spun as well. He was caught up in that.
Yeah, he's
retired. I mean, his race all went wrong, really, thanks to that bizarre safety car incident, really. He was in contention for the win up until that point, which at the moment looks like it's going the way of Philip, but Marcados is within reasonable striking range, and he's got the DRS now, so if he can get close enough, he may have an opportunity to grab this win.
Yeah, one opportunity is all that's needed here. Although Waters has all the ERS to play with. The cards... There's cards in both decks here, and it just depends on how they're played. But Will Murdoch going a bit wide there. He's picked up a time penalty. That means Black Box will be on the podium if things stay as is.
Yeah, and that's probably, I mean, he probably wasn't really thinking the win was on. But yeah, it's really now between Philip and Marcados for this win. Just over a lap to go. Marcados is getting close, but maybe not close enough.
We have an answer to what happened under safety car. Kazizzle's wheel turned off, so it was just a bit of bad luck, really. Oh,
that's really unfortunate. I don't know if Fabi got caught up in it.
Ryan and Zane going side by side here. Oh, and Ryan spun Zane, half spun him. but that means Zane's going to be out at a point here today. There's some battling, but it just didn't end quite as well as I would have hoped. So now Markadox using every last ounce of the ERS. He has to go for second last chance here to be one more down to Stowe. He's close, but not close enough. Ward using the ERS as well, but he's got a lot more to use. So now down to Cops. There's not going to be enough gained here. Staying around half a second. No mistakes. This is it. What? Markadox managed to gain a 10th here. Snibble is out, crashed out of this Grand Prix. So now one last opportunity. Markadox. He's got to use everything, but he barely has anything to use. It's just pulling away very easily. The gap has not changed. Unless Water spins here in this last corner, he's going to win the Grand Prix. Some more yellow flags. Fabi spun, but now just up ahead to the Wars from pole to victory. He wins the social race here at Silverstone. Markadox takes it along P2 with Black Box ends up on the podium after penalties. Murdoch P4. Big C jumps up to 5th after the penalties are applied. Tomorrow 6th, Joy 7th. He's 7th now. Actually, Getty 8th, Joy Rowan's actually 8th. Getty 9th, Joy 10th, Fabi 11th, Zane 12th, Ryan 13th, and Nori MK along his back is P14.
Yeah, bizarre into a race. I think I was watching Fabi and he was right behind Will going towards Stowe, and then I flicked away from it, and the next thing I know he was spinning, so I don't know if he hit the back of him or just, I imagine he may have just lost it on his own at the exit of Stowe, but Fabi at one point looking like he could win the race ends up outside the top 10 due to that spin. A few other things that happened, he got penalties as well, but fair play to Philip from pole to flag. Really, he led the whole entire race. You don't often get that in races here at PSGL.
Yeah, you're
like
right.
Happening, but Philip just he dealt with a couple of safety cars, and he never really looked flustered or under pressure. So I don't know which tier he'll end up in, but whatever tier he does end up in, that's a mark of someone who can cope with the pressure and could be a contender for the title wherever he's racing.
Yeah, indeed, that is. So there's the podium scene now, a little different, but it's just pole pretty much led every single lap and victory. Obviously, Cazizzo didn't really get the chance to get a challenge at the end, although, to be honest, nobody was challenging Philip no matter what, so it is, I have to say, very, very dominant. Not quite a Grand Slam. Rowan did manage to snatch fastest lap. So your race results are Philip from pole to victory. So he finishes P1. P2 is Markadox from 4th. You had a very nice race there. Black Box P3 after penalties. Murdoch P14 to P4. Very good drive. Big C after the penalties applied. He finishes P5. Tuxedo P6, LB5 P7, Rowan P8, Bugatti P9, Joey P10, Fabi, well, your non-point scorers, Fabi, Ian, Ryan, Lordy, and Slimbo, the DNFs, Gazizzle, Kyle Ting, Laggy TM, Nickel Blocks, and Kryptonite. So, you have to say, a very, very good race.
Yeah, some good racing on the show, and it was good to see that the drivers could get up close and personal. A lot of tyre rubbing, and yeah, it's some really good action. And although it looked for a long period like the top 4 was going to remain unchanged, we got some real drama at the end of that race. Some of it quite unlucky, particularly in the case of Kazizel, but nevertheless, a really good race. And in terms of what's going on at PSGL here this evening, the racing doesn't stop here, because I'm pretty certain we have another social race currently going on. So if you want to see some more racing, and just flip over to the other stream. I believe it's currently going on.
Yep, so I believe that is all we have for you today from us. So thank you for myself and Jake for watching. please make sure to go over now to watch the second social race that also uh, taking place at Silverstone. So that is it from me, and thank you all for watching, and good